is up, guys? It is the Turtle Girl. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to take care of your turtle shell and some different ways you can keep their shell well maintained and healthy. So I was actually planning today to talk about shedding specifically, but then I realized there's a perfectly good video that I already made like a year ago that talks about shedding more in depth. And it will also include some of the tips I'm talking about here, but if you want to learn more about shedding specifically, I will link it right up here and you guys can go ahead and watch that. But today we're just talking the turtle shell in general and some different things you can do to keep it as healthy as possible. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and ring the notification bell so that you can see all of my future videos. I make turtle related content every single Friday. Well, lately, not every single Friday, but that is going to change very soon. I cross my heart. So, turtles. Turtles are immediately what comes to mind, at least for me, when I think of animals that have shells. Well, turtles and snails. Let's just be fair here. But turtles and their shells, it's one of the things that make them so unique as a reptile. And so when you're keeping them in captivity, it's really important to help them out with the care of that shell and provide them with things to keep that shell healthy. It's actually a common misconception that turtles can actually come out of their shell and live without a shell. That's actually totally not a thing. Their rib cage is literally fused to the plastron and the carapace of their shell, the top and bottom of their shell. So your turtle actually can't come out of its shell. So that basically means it's stuck with it for the rest of its life. It's gonna grow with this shell and it's gonna be in there till it dies. So, sorry, that sounded really morbid, but basically your turtle shell is a very important part of its body. It protects it from predators, it makes it more streamlined so that they can swim in the water well, and just all sorts of different things, and shells are very important to them. It's basically all I'm trying to say. And so we have to provide them certain things in order to take care of those shells properly, and there's a couple of different things you can do. So first thing I want to talk about really quickly and touch on is shedding, because for some reason a lot of people seem to freak out because they don't know what shedding looks like, and so they think it might be something else. So shedding is something that turtles do. Ha! So shedding is something pretty much all turtles do. As you can see here, like with Nemo, the scutes, which, quick vocabulary, scutes are the little portions on the turtle shell. You can see here with Nemo, he was just recently shedding, and his scutes start peeling up. They look kind of papery thin, and that's what shedding looks like. You can also tell if your turtle is shedding if you notice that their shell kind of looks shiny or metallic-y in the water, or if they're rubbing up against a lot of things inside of their tank. And so that is what shedding looks like, and how you can take care of it and help it along will be in that video that I have linked up here and also in the description. I will leave a link down there if you want to learn more about shedding. But basically that's what shedding looks like, and I just want to let you know that's a totally natural part of having a turtle. Alright, the second thing I want to talk about is specific foods that you can feed to your turtle that will help your shell growth and promote the shell growth. Keep in mind though that I am no expert and this is just from personal experience and things that I've learned from other turtle keepers. But continuing on, food that you can feed your turtle that will help out its shell. My favorite thing is Hikari koi wheat germ. This is a pellet that's actually formulated for koi, but it's high in vitamin E and vitamin A, and both of those things are very important to skin and shell health in turtles. If you feed that, it can often help your turtle if they're having a hard time shedding, and just promote the overall good condition of your turtle's shell. So I highly recommend Hikari koi wheat germ. Link in the description if you want to check that food out. And just in general, feed a high quality diet and avoid too much protein, because when you feed a turtle too much protein or too much food all at once, it can cause them to grow rapidly, and this rapid growth can cause shell issues. So make sure you're feeding your turtle the proper amount. Most turtles do not need to be fed more than once a day, if not every other day for older turtles. So definitely keep that in mind. I have other videos on feeding. Y'all can go check those out if you are interested. But just make sure you're feeding the right amount. Next thing I wanted to talk about is lighting. Lighting is so important to your turtle's shell. Basically what I'm talking here is your turtle's basking lighting. I feel like I'm always talking about this in my videos, but it's because so many people don't realize that turtles have special lighting needs, and so this causes them to have shell issues. So the types of lighting that you'll need in your basking area are UVB lighting and heat lighting. And so basically, as I've said in other videos, this combination of heat and UVB wavelength light is mimicking the sunshine, but when turtles are in the wild, they need this sunshine to hit their shell. The UVB wavelength of the light triggers a reaction that allows them to process vitamin D, which in turn allows them to process calcium, and as you can imagine, calcium is very important for any creature with a shell, or with bones for that matter. So give them their proper lighting if you want to avoid any kind of deformity and if you want to keep their shell healthy and also their bones healthy, because they both need calcium. And another reason why basking lighting is so important is because when your turtle goes out to bask and it's underneath that warmth, this helps the shell to dry out, and so it's not constantly wet if the turtle doesn't want it to be. So this will help avoid things like shell rot and other shell issues. So get proper lighting, please. While we're still on the topic of lighting, another thing you can do for your turtle's shell health, especially when they're shedding, is taking them outside in the sun, because anything artificial that we provide cannot compare to those strong and natural rays of the actual sun. So in the summer, feel free to take them outside for 20 to 30 minutes, let them bask, soak up those rays. That can be very, very healthy for them and definitely help out their shell. Another thing that you can do for your turtle's shell if you find that it needs to be cleaned, or if it has a little bit of algae growing on it, or your turtle is shedding, is you can actually take your turtle out of its tank, take a soft bristled toothbrush, and gently rub the back of the turtle's shell to help clean it off. This helps clean the shell, remove any algae, and just make sure that there's nothing really clinging to the shell that could be bad. You don't have to do this very often, it's only periodically when your turtle needs it, but it can be something good to do. It can be enriching for the turtle, but if your turtle shows any kind of discomfort or aggravation when you're trying to brush the back of its shell with a toothbrush, then maybe that might be something that you don't want to do with your turtle because it's obviously making them uncomfortable. But if your turtle doesn't seem to mind too much, get that soft bristled toothbrush and scrub the back of their shell. Now, at this point in the video, some of you might be wondering, well, why don't you talk about how to treat shell rot, and I need help with this type of issue with my turtle, and it's like a medical thing, there's bacteria on my turtle shell, there's fungus. I will tell you right now in this video that I most likely will not be talking about those topics on this channel unless one of my turtles happens to have one of those issues in the future. And that's because I have never had personal experience with a turtle having shell rot or a turtle having fungus. So unfortunately, I'm sorry for those of you who want videos about me talking about shell rot. Can't help you there. I would say do your own research, potentially take them to a reputable exotic reptile vet, but do your research on how you can treat shell rot on your own. But I'm sorry, I can't help you there because I have no experience with it. And honestly, the bottom line is, unless you took a turtle in who's already sick, then you shouldn't have to be dealing with these issues as long as you are providing the proper things in order to keep your turtle shell healthy and well maintained. So that is today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to drop a thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Have a totally awesome day. Bye-bye!